In the northwestern corner of Wyoming, deep within the Rocky Mountains, lies a national park, roughly 15 times the size of Seoul. This is Yellowstone. Every year, about 4 million visitors travel here from around the world to marvel at its wonders. Rainbow-hued hot springs send steam skyward, while geysers launch boiling water dozens of meters into the air. The park holds more than 10,000 hydrothermal features and over 500 geysers, roughly half of all those found anywhere on Earth. But beneath this stunning beauty lies a terrifying secret. Deep underground sleeps a supervolcano of a scale that no human civilization has ever directly experienced. Over 2.1 million years, it has triggered 3 catastrophic super-eruptions, each burying continents under thick volcanic ash. The most recent blast occurred roughly 640,000 years ago. Now, scientists are detecting alarming signals that no one expected. Researchers who have monitored this volcano for decades say the recent data is unlike anything they have ever recorded. The ground is swelling, dormant geysers have roared back to life, and seismic instruments are picking up unusual readings. Is the Yellowstone supervolcano truly starting to wake up? To understand what Yellowstone truly is, we first need to look far beneath the surface. Deep inside the Earth, a massive column of superheated rock is constantly rising from the mantle. Scientists call this a mantle plume. This scorching pillar pushes magma just below the crust, and as the North American plate drifts west, it leaves volcanic scars behind. Imagine a sheet of paper sliding over a blowtorch, each spot scorched in turn. The plate moves roughly 2 centimeters per year, leaving a chain of ancient calderas across Idaho east of Yellowstone. Follow the trail of this hotspot, and you can read roughly 1,600 kilometers of volcanic history at a glance. The first super eruption, the Huckleberry Ridge event about 2.1 million years ago, buried more than half the continent in ash. The second, Mesa Falls, came roughly 1.3 million years ago. And the third, Lava Creek, struck about 640,000 years ago. The intervals between these 3 blasts average roughly 700,000 years. But scientists stress that this cycle is far from regular. Predicting the next eruption based on timing alone has no scientific basis. The interior of our planet is far more complex than any pattern suggests. In 2025, a joint research team from Rice University and the University of Utah made a discovery that stunned the scientific world. Beneath the Yellowstone caldera, at a remarkably shallow depth of just about 3 kilometers, they found a previously unknown layer of magma. The team named it a magma cap. This cap formed when rising hot magma became trapped in rock fractures near the surface, creating a shallow reservoir no one knew existed. The breakthrough came from high-density seismic tomography, which uses hundreds of sensors to map underground structures in detail. The team mapped the subsurface down to 15 kilometers and found that what was thought to be one magma chamber is actually several distinct layers. It was like performing a CT scan on the Earth itself, using seismic waves instead of X-rays to see through rock. Michael Poland, head of the USGS Yellowstone Volcano Observatory, said the discovery does not mean an eruption is imminent, but marks a major turning point in understanding the magma system beneath Yellowstone. The realization that such a large body of magma sits so close to the surface means existing models may need fundamental revision, and it has captured the attention of volcanologists worldwide. Shortly after the magma cap discovery, another alarming signal emerged the same year. Across a broad area spanning roughly 30 kilometers inside the Yellowstone caldera, the ground rose by approximately 2.5 centimeters. That may not sound like much, but uplift of this magnitude, occurring over such a short period, is extremely unusual in the recent observational record. The uplift centered near Sour Creek Dome, historically the most volcanically active part of the caldera, which raised alarm among researchers. 17 GPS stations and satellite radar recorded the data, simultaneously ensuring reliability. Scientists believe that hot hydrothermal fluids and volcanic gases are accumulating above the magma chamber, building up pressure and pushing the surface upward. Of course, uplift of this kind does not automatically signal an imminent eruption. Yellowstone has experienced repeated episodes of uplift and subsidence on the scale of several centimeters throughout its recorded history. In other words, ground movement by itself is not necessarily a precursor to a volcanic event. Still, this uplift came right after the magma cap discovery, and the scientific community sees it as strong evidence that the magma system remains in motion. In early 2026, yet another unexpected phenomenon struck Yellowstone. In the Norris Geyser Basin, Echinus Geyser broke its long silence and began erupting again. Echinus was once among the most predictable geysers in Norris Basin, but its activity had dropped sharply and it was considered effectively dormant. That made its sudden return all the more shocking. What sets Echinus apart from typical geysers is its extreme acidity. With a pH of roughly 3.3, an acidic geyser erupting this actively is an extraordinarily rare event anywhere on the planet. Records show Echinus produced roughly 40 eruptions within just a few months, a frequency with no precedent in decades. Steamboat Geyser, the tallest active geyser on Earth, also erupted during the same period. Its water column soared to roughly 90 meters. Such eruptions from Steamboat are exceedingly rare, stunning. Even the researchers who witnessed them, the simultaneous reawakening of both geysers, strongly suggests that the hydrothermal system beneath Norris Basin is undergoing major changes. Experts say it is too early to call this a precursor to eruption, but stress the urgent need for closer monitoring of thermal conditions across the entire basin. So what would actually happen if Yellowstone were to unleash another super eruption? The simulation scientists have run paint a picture beyond anything. Most people can imagine a column of ash would rise roughly 25 kilometers high, and pyroclastic flows reaching several hundred degrees would engulf everything within about 100 kilometers of the Caldera. Wind-carried ash would blanket North America, piling up centimeters to tens of centimeters deep. Air travel would halt, farmland and water sources would be contaminated, and power grids would fail across vast regions. Transportation would collapse, and fine glass particles in the ash would create severe respiratory hazards. Sulfur dioxide released into the atmosphere would block sunlight, triggering a volcanic winter that could last years and devastate global harvests. Food production would shrink, and hundreds of millions could face dire threats. But here is the crucial fact that must not be overlooked. The USGS estimates that the probability of such a super eruption occurring in any given year is roughly 1 in 730,000. That is comparable to the odds of a large asteroid striking the Earth, extremely low but never truly zero. Yellowstone is not something to fear. It is something to stand in awe of. 2.1 million years of Earth's history live and breathe within this park, and humanity watches, analyzes, and records that history daily. 17 GPS stations across the Caldera, satellites overhead, and hundreds of seismographs work around the clock to monitor Yellowstone's heartbeat. In recent years, AI-driven real-time analysis has made it possible to detect subtle pattern shifts that once escaped human observation. Nature has always exceeded our predictions, but science is closing the gap one step at a time. What we can do is not surrender to fear, but strive to understand nature correctly and prepare accordingly. The power of science and the reliability of accurate data are our greatest tools in this effort. Yellowstone reminds us every day that our planet is a living, breathing world that never truly sleeps. Take a moment to listen to the voice of the Earth, echoing from beneath this immense supervolcano. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the subscribe button and give it a like, and turn on notifications so you never miss an update. In our next video, we will bring you more secrets of our planet. Until then, stay safe, and we will see you soon.